on record.
Oh,
That's fun.
great.
Cool. Wow. Amazing. You guys even got the mask headdresses. What do you guys want to call those? I don't know. I never really
Head,
went
we
for it.
call them headpieces usually.
Headpieces. I like that. That's amazing.
Click on OK.
And they're all like nice colored hues of yellow. I love it.
Yes, what have you got on your head?
I got just a beanie because my hair is all messed up today. So I'm not that exciting. I'm sorry. I was helping move all day, so I'm just
I don't know. That's a
on
pretty
my
cool
crazy head.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
imagine
you got
my shirt.
moving here.
Yeah. So okay, let's get started. Hey everybody, welcome to Trailer Punk Podcast. My name is Justin Hamline, and I have the Fabulous Downey Brothers. I got Liam, Sean,
Hi.
and Lewis. Thank you guys for coming on. I really appreciate it.
Wow, Lewis.
Yeah, thank you for covering such cool artists like Zomzoms and Yip Yip.
Yeah, we really enjoyed the Zomzoms interview with Pataphysics.
Pat kind of changed our lives. Same thing with Brian.
Tell me about that.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, really, we'll just hop right into it. But they're basically the reason Fabulous Downey Brothers exist. Zomzoms and Yip Yip, we discovered them during the MySpace days. We were looking for something to connect with. There was nothing local that was doing what Zomzoms were doing. So we were in Seattle, they were in Texas, and luckily they went on tour, and that changed our lives. We helped them book a show that was not very well attended, but we do have some high 8 footage laying around somewhere.
That's fantastic. Yeah, if you guys find that and upload
Wait,
it.
actually.
Oh, hey, okay, here it is.
It's right here. I've been meaning to get this properly uploaded because I think there's more Yip Yip footage on this that we haven't uploaded. But yeah, this is the tape apparently from that day, that night of that show.
Fantastic.
Yeah, Swaz, Zoms.
That's amazing. I can't wait to see.
Just happened to be sitting right there. That's random.
That's great. Shoot, man, where do I begin? I've never had this many people on my, so this is fantastic. So you got the Downey Brothers. Who came in next? Was it Chantra or Lewis?
I don't know.
Next, I guess. Showed up next.
Sorry, we can't ever take anything seriously. I was the one that showed up. I was the one that showed up next.
Okay.
We all three like sort of it came together. Am I remembering correctly? Like we did
a Zoom call, yeah.
Yeah.
Never mind. That makes more sense.
Yeah. I guess these things are open to interpretation. So we're both right, really.
Andrew was at that show. You were at the show.
I was at that show. Yeah. That was the first show you met. That was the show you met Casey at, actually.
Yeah, Casey, my friend Creighton was there.
Are you talking about how the band was created, Justin? Oh, well.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah. So sorry, I didn't realize that. I just jumped subject where I was like, oh yeah, no, whoever showed up first on the Zoom call. No, whoever joined the band next who was the one who joined the band next?
It was hard to say because when it started, it was an 11 piece at the time.
Yeah, I saw that online. It looked like one hell of a lineup where, I mean, going on tour would have been, price gouging, I would say.
Yeah, you're right.
That's why we had to cut a bunch of, no. But we started it, like it started in the public access studio, right?
Yeah, we
just assembled.
Is that for real?
Yes.
Yeah.
The funny thing, let me jump on real quick. I'm sorry. When I wrote down what my description of the Fabulous Downey Brothers is, it's an 80s satirical fever dream caught between public access television and Saturday morning cartoons.
Ooh, I like that.
So, okay, go ahead. Sorry. It's so funny that
that's really good.
Continue.
Yeah.
And we at the same time, we had access to the TV studio working on the kids show, making music and having, funny segments like Pee-wee's Playhouse and stuff. And we would have bands in the evening come into the studio and play, and we put together a band, and that's kind of how it started.
Wait, can we share screen on this thing?
Do we want to?
I mean, if you need to organize it accordingly, that's fine.
Because I could get YouTube pulled up.
No, let's not play YouTube. Let's
Oh, we could just hang and watch YouTube videos for the rest of this.
Yeah.
That could be.
Yeah, that's what people want to watch. Just a
We'll
band
just provide
watching
commentary.
YouTube videos.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, we'll provide the commentary. It'll be top
Yeah,
notch.
if you can pop it up, that's fine. If not, then maybe I can figure out what to do.
Right. So that was 13 years ago that I posted
Here,
that video, but we don't have to play it.
I'll just put it. Isn't there a chat? I can
Yeah,
just put the
it
link.
should be. Yeah, hold on, let me see.
Here's a link of a
Okay.
video. That was like one of the earliest Fabulous Downey Brothers
Okay.
performances that was on the public access show.
Right. And so like it didn't start as a band. We sort of assembled a bunch of our friends who happen to be like artists and musicians to do like a music video shoot for 2 or 3 songs. And it was supposed to be purely a one-off. But then it was like, oh shit, what if we actually did this for a little while?
Fantastic. It's like early Yo Gabba Gabba. Was that pre Yo Gabba Gabba? Right at the same time.
Around the same time, I think.
Okay, that's cool.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
And so we would eventually we played an arcade in Tacoma where we met Lewis.
Yeah, I was running sound for Dorky's Arcade, and these guys showed up, and that's how I met these guys. And then Sean started doing a gamer jam event where we would play video games and play music along with it, and he asked me to join there.
That's great. Crap, I just lost what I was gonna say. So you guys started and are you all from Seattle, or the like spun off, cities or towns or whatever?
Well, we're currently scattered all over the sort of like Seattle region, but the band started in Olympia.
Oh, okay, cool.
The real origin, though, goes back to the 1940s. There was an incident called the Maury Island incident that occurred right across, like right in the middle of the Puget Sound. It was like a UFO kind of crash incident. Look it up. It's interesting. And that happened right where we grew up and right outside. So that's really the true origin,
the birthplace
story.
I love it.
And
there was a documentary about it. We did a song for the documentary, the Maury Island incident.
Maury Island. Okay, I'll write that down. I'll add that to the link. So, you guys just got. Well, I was gonna say new. You guys got a new album out, VR, right? Tell me about that.
It's a double album, and it's all about the virtual reality.
Yes.
Yeah, we hope that it's a different take on the concept.
Right.
A lot of people have tackled this concept before in music, especially.
Yeah, like
especially synthpunk and new wave. Yeah. And a lot of artists, they're always like, check out our VR innovative thing. And personally, I can't be inside VR more than 10 minutes or I'll blow chunks. And that's kind of what this album's about.
Yeah. And then you guys got a new show. You guys got a show coming up in October, right?
Yes. Since you asked, I'll tell you the details.
Yeah, go ahead. I was gonna say, I just want to let everybody know as they're listening to this.
You might catch us at the roller rink October 4th, but then we have one on October 11th, which is going to be at the Mopop Museum. It's going to be for the Keith Haring exhibit.
It's the opening exhibit.
Right.
It's going to be fun. We get to play in a really big room called the Sky Church. Are you familiar with Mopop Museum of Pop Culture in Seattle? Yeah. Used to be Experience Music Project. It's a really big stage with really big screens and crazy lights. So it's going to be really fun.
That's awesome.
And it'll be more fun than a sports bar, which we also play from time to time. Sports bars.
They just have good solid venues out there. Like you guys kind of got like a variety of like, oh, I know I can play here. I know I can play here. There's some that would be like, like at least out here in St. Louis, there's not a whole lot of like eccentric acts. So I'm wondering, do you guys have a little bit more variety of, a show where you can go, okay, this is a solid venue I know I can play at. So
Yeah, Seattle has enough venues, that's for sure. It could have more all ages venues. That's I think every city, but there's a lot of houses. There's a lot of random spots.
Have you ever been to Seattle?
no, I have not. No,
Oh,
not yet. I'll say not
It's
yet.
pretty small.
So
There's not a large population, so it's pretty small. Yeah. So there's enough venues for everyone, but like there's not enough. There's too many events for everyone. I think that's the real issue.
we like to play in like there's some art spaces, cool art spaces, like when a grocery store goes out of business, and then Seattle's really cool about giving it to the artists.
Just yeah, for like a year or two, and then there's this really great venue that I just played at for the first time in this neighborhood called Ravenna, and it's called Mudlark Oddities, and it's this oddity shop that's in the middle of this neighborhood, and it's just really cool. It's a really spacious oddity shop that has a great place for bands to play, and it's nice.
awesome.
Not a lot of people know about it yet, I think.
What was it like growing up? What kind of bands were you guys like listening to that kind of helped shape you and evolve you?
I mean, definitely the obvious ones.
Devo, B-52s, Oingo Boingo, Tim
Talking
Burton,
Heads.
Talking Heads.
Yeah.
What
Lewis,
else you
you
got?
can talk.
What's that?
I was like, Lewis can talk if you want to add some more things.
Oh,
mean,
Weird Al. Why not?
Yeah, Weird
Oh
Al.
yeah, totally. Yeah.
I mean, but even like, I think we're like Zom Zoms, Yip Yip, The Locust, X Models, yeah, White Stripes, all that stuff too. We all listen to, and just trying to think of like shows maybe we all saw.
Yeah, I was good. That's another question. Like, any shows that you saw that really helped shape who you've become?
I mean, definitely like there was a show we all saw that was Tom Tom Club, Psychedelic Furs, Devo, and Tom Tom Club was so good.
Yeah.
And I remember we all got to meet Chris and Tina afterwards, which was fun.
No way. That's awesome.
And then it was weird. They were like on stage and they were like, "We'll be at the meet and greet booth," and it was free. It was like anyone who got a ticket could just go to the booth, and we walk up to it and there's like no one there. we must have been the first people there, but
oh my gosh.
They
it
were
was just
very
so
nice.
weird to just walk up to them and be like, "What's up?"
Try to like naturally
and just
talk
like,
with
"Hey,
them.
who are you guys?" And we're just like,
Right.
"Oh, this."
Not completely moved and blown away by the Talking Heads and the whole history of that entire band. Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
I would have been shell shocked. Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
It was
they
crazy.
were really approachable for sure. But I think like what's interesting about everybody saying those, sort of naming those bands as being highly influential with with us when we were growing up and like getting into music and stuff, is that I mean, you could try to like find a common thread and try to cram them into a genre like post-punk or whatever, and there is some of that, but the thing that is consistent across all of those, including Weird Al, that I think is worth noting is that they're all acts that are absurd. And not like like there's and not just like in the silly sense, which obviously things like Weird Al, but like in terms of like the philosophy of absurdism, like that's what we do, and that's what I think all of our heroes do too, which is just like holding up the mirror to like everything and just being like, what the fuck is this shit? Like, there's really great stuff about it, but also what the heck is actually going on here,
No,
yeah.
Because even with like Weird Al, like the Dare to Be Stupid album really was like, he almost like captured the elements of that sort of like, Devo-esque, or that sort of like new wave type of eccentricness, and you're just like, oh, he understands it. You know what I mean? Like that's how I felt when I was listening to that album.
Totally. And so we're a band that doesn't we don't write songs about love.
Right.
Like that's not our territory. But I think we have a tendency to lean more towards like looking at what's going on in the world and having something to say about like why sometimes it's a little strange, and also that if other people don't find that it's strange and they haven't been paying enough attention, I think.
No, I can see that for sure. Did you
Yeah,
guys? Oh, go ahead. Go ahead. Sorry.
I think for me, it's always been like it's really easy for people to be like, you guys are a Devo band, right? It's like, but I've always just been like, no, well, we're not just a Devo band. We're also a Kraftwerk band.
Yes.
We're a Zomzoms band. We're a Poly Six band. Like it's kind of like when I look at it, I'm like, I just want to be in a band like those bands. Like they're not all just one type of band, but they all do a uniform thing, and it's all weird and like zany, and it's just that's how I see it. I'm like, we're less of a Devo band and more of a Devo, Kraftwerk, Poly Six, Locust, anything that did kind of that.
Mm-hmm. Well, a lot of it does come through into your guys' music. Like you can, when I was like listening to, I listened to it like all week when we were trying to put this whole thing together, and it's like you can hear a lot of those elements in your guys' music, and it's insanely creative. So thank you guys. I really appreciate everything you guys have done musically. So
yeah, if you're a fan of that kind of music, you might like our band too.
Yeah.
Well, it's kind of like people would describe Poly Six as like, oh, they created a Devo genre. It's like, yeah, I could see how that makes sense. It's like we could kind of fit into that.
Yep, I could see that too. Do you guys kind of grow up in like an artistic household? Like, were you right off the bat, music and art and all that was your guys' upbringing?
Yeah. Let Lewis answer this one.
Yeah. Growing up, no, but in Tacoma, we had a high school pop up, Tacoma School of the Arts, when I was going to high school. Mm-hmm. That's where I got to meet up with a bunch of creative types. Learned music recording, and then just grew from there. Been in bands since middle school.
Well, since you're the synthesizer player, what's your kind of go-to when it comes to like working on synth? What's your favorite gear?
All I'm using right now is my my Korg Triton Extreme's got more sounds than I can handle.
Yeah,
really.
Yep.
So, but I don't really mess around with too many other keys.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Keep it like simple, where it's like once you're a gearhead, you're constantly buying new things, trying to find new sounds, and I think it's smart to get one and focus on that one and make sure you get the most out of your money.
Yeah, with too much choice, it also becomes overwhelming. You got to use your freedom of choice.
I've been using Touch Designer. Have you heard of it? You get to design how you touch things.
Lewis, you got to try the Lumatone, man. Have you seen that?
No, what's that?
It's like a keyboard that looks like a hive, and it completely turns up on its ass the notion of playing traditional keys and chords, and like you'll have, and it lights up as well. It's like
a bunch of hexagon buttons. Is that what?
Yeah.
Okay. I think I know what you're talking about.
Like that, exactly. And by hive, I mean honeycomb. Jeez, man.
Yeah, I got you.
Lewis and I will just have this conversation on the side. We'll be back with you later.
That's okay. You're fine. Go for it. Did anybody else want to add to the artistic households, or are we kind of moving on from that?
Well, I guess like we weren't really that artistic of a household personally, because we were like kind of a single parent household for our most lives. So it was just kind of us left to like mess around after school with stuff. But we did have grandma Kathleen, who she let us play with a synthesizer that she had, and she painted a lot. She really taught us a lot about art.
Right.
She definitely taught us to. She taught me to never sell out. That's for sure. She's always been like, selling art is bad. Why would anyone ever do that? So because of that, it's always been really hard for me to like want to make money off of art, like, intensely, at least, like definitely for shows and touring, but like, yeah, it's weird. I guess she kind of taught me it was more of a gift, which is probably a bad thing, but it's funny. It's funny, I guess.
Yeah, I do believe it's a gift that anyone can pick it up. And we were very lucky to have space to be crafty. We did have like a studio, and Dad got me a guitar, and that changed my life. I learned the chords, and I learned to play other songs, and we spent a lot of time jamming, and we even made silly videos, little animations, and we got Yip Yip in our studio a long time ago, and that was really fun. We just had a lot of keyboards laying around, and it's like a safe place, you know.
Yeah,
it's a
but it was
healing environment. It's we're very lucky to
yeah,
have it.
it was definitely like something we wanted though once we got older. Like it wasn't
And
really thrown at us in
Yeah.
a sense.
No,
Like
I gotta say, I haven't known many people whose dad built them a studio. Like that's major.
well,
So like he
I
wasn't necessarily like he wasn't playing the instruments with you, but the fact that he would do that was just like
yeah, he was just like
amazing.
he,
So
he
supportive.
it's his museum now. It was just it was just an extra room. It was cool though. Like, you know, we would practice in the garage and then all the neighbors eventually complained. So then he was like, well, we have this deck. I'll just like make it into a room. And he did. And it was cool.
That's what
Like we
happened.
spent a summer building it with him. It was funny.
that's amazing. That's fantastic.
I
And
have a
now it's his
grandma.
museum.
I have a grandma that was musical also.
Oh yeah, famous.
Worth mentioning. Not terribly famous, but she wrote a song that was pretty significant. And then but she wrote it at the time under the name of a guy, because that's what you did to make any money as a female songwriter. And so she's pretty cool. And then my dad and my mom both played instruments, but I got the theater bug, which is why if there's any cringy moments in our band, you can blame me. It's my fault.
Chandra is very talented. And I when I met her, she was directing theater, and she was starring in a play, and she's gotten many lead roles, and
Played Dorothy in
Oh,
Wizard of
good
Oz.
Lord.
yeah,
I'm
and
gonna
her
just
Oh, yeah,
check
yeah,
out
I
this
gotta hear
interview now.
The biggest lead role of all time.
You
The
guys
most
are the
important lead
worst.
role
You're
anyone could ever play.
the worst.
and her grandma is Nelda Fairchild, and we're playing one of her songs right now.
Oh, that's amazing. That's fantastic.
Yeah,
That's
20
good.
Flight Rock. It's cool. It's rockabilly.
Yeah. I can't wait to hear that. Were you guys in any other bands before, like before Fabulous Downey Brothers?
I mean, we started our high school band was called Badooch. I think that's actually what Pat mentioned, which was funny. But that was our like high school band, and then we were in a bunch of random bands with like our friends in high school that just like are just like silly joke bands. We had a lot of those. Yeah, I mean, yeah, and then I mean the bands. I was in a band called Natalie Portman Shaved Head. That was the band right before Downey Brothers, and that band did actually tour a lot. That band did a lot of stuff, and then when I left that band, Sean and I were like, all right, it's time. But we were in this other band, I guess, called Ooh Ah Ah, which was our like Locust X Models ripoff band.
Yeah.
And then we kind of just like took elements from what, because then Sean like kind of went to school, and so then we were kind of doing different music, and then we were like, okay, now I'm not in these bands, so let's
You
do
know
this.
this person? Hold on, Jackson Levitt.
Oh yeah, Jackson.
I just want to make sure. I was like, did I just add someone random? So
Jackson.
Yes. Is this your new dorm, Jackson? Jackson was in the band like up until like last month.
Oh, okay, cool.
Fight Milk.
And
Fight Milk, everyone.
he
Can
did
you
drums.
hear us?
Yeah. Fight Milk.
He did drums and guitar.
Okay, cool.
But
That's
yeah, now he's at
can you hear
CalArts.
us? Can you
No.
hear us, Jackson? Can you speak, Jackson?
I can't.
We
Okay.
can hear you.
All right, I just want to make sure we're coming in clear.
Pineapple
They're
shirt.
just like, oh my god. Okay, where are we? Okay, other bands. So go ahead, keep going. Other bands before Fabulous
Well, I
Downey
mean,
Brothers.
I can name a lot of bands. Like Marilyn Scissorhands.
I see. I didn't want to name all the bands.
Lewis is in a band called Winkles.
Okay,
yeah, I'm in a.
that one's
Yeah,
worth it.
I'm currently in a band
Yeah.
called the Cutwinkles. We started in high school in 2003 as a pop punk band that was like satirical, and then now we just do every single genre. We still play, still friends from high school. And I'm also in a Nintendo music tribute band with my brother and others. And we programmed this this program that has all the video games playing that we're playing music to, and we give a controller to the audience, and they get to play the games of the songs we're playing. That's really cool.
Yeah.
That's fun.
Yeah, those are the biggest bands I've been in.
Anybody else?
Currently I'm in a band called Miss Cummings. We're actually coming to St. Louis.
Oh, really? When?
Yeah, you should definitely check us out. Let me pull the date up.
You're coming to St. Louis?
Yeah, we can talk about
Liam.
Liam's other bands. They're So Pitted.
So Pitted, yes. I like that one. That was my favorite band. Yeah.
Mom's a band.
Yeah.
Wi-Fi Cell Phone Kids.
Mm-hmm.
Jackson he's in Fight Milk. We said that earlier. We love so many bands.
Did we forget one? Mold Mom.
I know. Once we start naming bands, it's like
Fabulous Downey Brothers.
Yeah.
Miss Cummings.
Yep.
Okay, Miss Cummings will
Sorry if we didn't mention your band.
Miss Cummings will be in, where is it? St. Louis, the Sinkhole.
Okay, yeah, I know where that's at. Yeah.
Is that a cool spot?
Yes, it is.
Can I put you on the guest list?
What day?
September 21st.
21st. Yeah. Let me double check my schedule. Yes, go ahead. Yeah, it's a Saturday. Yeah, I'll be off that day. So yes, put me on.
I think you'll like Miss Cummings. And Spring Breeding is who we're touring with from Las Vegas. They're like the best band from Las Vegas.
Cool. Thank you. Yes, please. I would love to check it out. Absolutely.
Cool.
Jesus. Did it feel like when you guys started, was there a lot of those elements of like Seattle where it was like you had to be like, I guess the elements of grunge and all that crap that kind of came with it, does that still linger, and does that kind of affect the mode of the music or the creativity?
A little. I mean, like So Pitted is more in that vein.
Yeah. You guys are on Synthpunk, right?
We were. We did our first record with them.
There's a lot of psych rock bands, like heavy psych rock in Seattle right now.
There's a lot of everything though. There's like a ska scene, and like if you find yourself at one of those shows, it's like you'll be like, where did all these people come from?
Right.
But there's definitely like a focus on the punk and like alternative.
Yeah.
You know, there's a lot of young bands right now that definitely are like nostalgic for grunge and alt rock and goth.
Yeah.
And Seattle remembers those bands, but there's also like Sir Mix-a-Lot, and there's a lot of other. Who's that big rapper?
Yeah, I mean, there's like every genre you can find. It's just not a lot of
Macklemore.
Yeah,
is that you mean?
Yeah. So we're every genre city.
Yeah, there's mostly everything, and it's hard to say what's more popular. It's kind of hard in Seattle, I think.
But
like everyone kind of becomes Seattle famous at one point.
Jackson is in LA now. We're an LA band.
Yeah, because of Jackson, we're an LA band now.
Jackson, do you have anything to add, or are you just kind of hanging out in the background?
I'm here. I didn't know I was going to be a part of this. I just got invited.
Well, I guess we could talk about how Jackson joined the band, which is interesting.
Yeah. Yes, I think we should.
We just found him covering our songs on YouTube.
Really?
Yeah.
What do you play?
Drums, bass, guitar, vocals, keyboards.
Yeah, everything.
3D design.
Where are you at right now?
Valencia, California.
Really? Wow, that's awesome. And you're going to school out there?
Yes, it is 105 degrees and it's 85 at night
Jesus Christ.
So have you started classes already?
tomorrow.
Ask what classes are you taking? I mean, like, what's your general focus? I guess I should say.
Music. You know, I don't know if this is all going to be left in. I might actually leave. I don't know how much I want the knowledge of me being at school to be out there. I don't know if this is
Get
just.
out. I can.
What's
is this being
what's your
live
dorm
streamed?
room number? What's the number on your door?
Is this being
Which dorm?
streamed? Are people watching this?
No, I can
Okay.
edit it all
No,
out. If you need
it's
to.
not being streamed.
No, it's not.
Okay.
Oh, you're good.
But it's cool that you're at Cal Arts.
Yeah.
It's fantastic. That's a good run. So I think. So
Yes. Yeah.
Justin,
I didn't prepare anything for this. I didn't know I was going to be a part of this.
Nobody prepared anything.
Well, y'all have the headpieces.
That's true. I
You have a
have
pineapple
one
shirt.
here for you. Yeah,
that's
I
awesome. I won't lie.
Thank you.
maybe that's our
Like
new
your
look.
blanket. Is that your blanket?
Pineapple shirt.
No.
Do you guys have any crazy touring stories or shows?
Good question. Good question, Liam.
I mean, the band.
Yeah.
We haven't toured too much actually.
Yeah.
But the one time we did like a couple tours, mostly just West Coast. Yeah, I don't know. We went to Knott's Berry Farm once. That was fun.
That sounds awesome.
I think
How
we
did
got
that go?
spat on. Someone spat on us.
Yeah, I was gonna try
we've
to
been
not
to, like, we've been-
leave out the story of being chased by the Nazi guys, but like,
Oh yeah, there was an incident with Nazis where it wasn't good and it was a really bad show.
They didn't like us.
And we were
Wait,
like, why? is
Nazis
this
had
happening?
Knott's Berry Farm, or was this a totally
No,
separate?
it was
Nazi
in
band.
Anaheim.
I was like,
It was in-
wow, that's
Nazi.
weird.
It was in Anaheim of all places. So that's what's weird is that it's like lived up to the stereotype that
Like-
there's Nazis around Disney.
That's
They
insane.
shouldn't have been there. They shouldn't.
They shouldn't have been there. They were just dorks who were like
no, I think it's we shouldn't have been there. They
We
were
shouldn't have
fine.
been
We had no business being there.
Yeah. They didn't like us. They
I
just-
can't imagine why
they
they
thought
didn't
we
like
were a
us.
joke.
Anybody
I
else
have
got any
Oh.
good stories to tell when you're playing live? Like what happened?
Some things are hard to talk about, but Liam, you know, he's been tackled once or
Yeah.
twice.
There more crazier stuff has happened in Seattle, surprisingly.
Really?
Just like when we first started out, I think we were a little bit more confrontational of a band. Like we would just kind of come out on stage and we would start out as this kind of like we would have this song that was like fun, and it was like fun, and people thought we were like, oh, Headpieces like kind of kids band, and then like halfway through the set, it would get like more like just crazier and scary, and then like we would start throwing things, and we would do this thing where we'd like I'd go in a blanket, I'd wrap myself in a blanket, and then I would just perform the song just thrashing around the crowd.
Yeah.
I couldn't see where I was going, so everything, it just became chaos. And then a couple times people just like dudes would just be like, oh, spilled my beer, and then next thing you know, you're getting punched in the face.
Yeah. It's we've been pretty lucky to always finish our sets. I don't think we have any time where we had to stop the show and say no more.
Well, there was one time where we were playing at this place that no longer exists in a neighborhood called Fremont in Seattle, where I threw my drum set at my friend.
Oh.
And the sound guy didn't know we were friends. So he just cut us off and was like, you're done. And they were like, you're kicked out, you're banned from the venue. And then the venue just went out of business. So, but yeah, it was like, he didn't know that we were just goofing. So he stopped the show.
There was the Still Inside shoot where I skinned my hand.
Oh yeah.
That's just a story.
Okay. was like, you just like skinned your hand with what?
Well, there was also that
Instrument, or
one
was it
time
like-
at Waynestock
Yeah.
where you ran into the stage, Jackson. That was pretty funny.
Yeah. I guess both stories. Yeah.
He has a
During
wireless guitar.
I ran out in the crowd and then I ran back up thinking I could make it and didn't. And there's a very nice video of it online. And I like really badly like skinned my leg and bruised my arm really bad to the point I thought it was broken. And then during our Still Inside shoot, we had this guitar case. We were pretending it was a keyboard. And though I play guitar, I was told to play it as a keyboard. And I was like doing that to it. And it ended up just it all came off.
Yep, that makes sense. Yep. Oh, that sounds awful.
I mean, talking about our old shows and weird stuff that has happened, though, it's made me think of one of the first, maybe even the first show that Lewis ever played with us when we were playing the parade. There were a couple of years where we would play on the back of a truck as a float, like when we had with the costumes and like amps and everything like loaded up onto this truck, and we would just be part of this parade, like this band just going by you. And
that was cool.
And Lewis, I think, if I recall, for his inauguration, he just ran behind the float the whole time. We didn't let you play, and you just kept running along the whole parade route, which is
Didn't I have a little keyboard though that I played?
Maybe.
I was also fasting at the time, so I was like 3 weeks into a fast. I don't know why.
I remember the fasting phase. Yeah, but we also, like some of the best times we ever had too was like we've got, not to name drop, but like truly life changing was getting to play with the B-52s a couple of times. Like that was truly amazing.
I gotta hear about that.
Sean, do you want to like jump in with how that even happened? How that started?
Yeah, it's a pretty simple story.
We just sent an email.
No, it was a Facebook video that I had posted. I posted a Fabulous Downey Brothers music video, Fizz. It's called Fizz.
Yeah, it's your guys' first EPs, right? Fizz, yeah.
Mm-hmm. And they just loved it. I think that's what happened.
Well,
and then
I remember we just saw that they were playing at Miramore Park, and we just sent an email, and then Fred okayed it. Maybe after
as I recall, Keith found us. This is what happens. We have 11 people in the band. None of us can remember the same thing. Or it's all true. In the multiverse.
Remember us sending an email. And then the person who the email went to actually sent it to Fred, I thought. And then Fred was like, yeah, these guys seem cool.
I mean, it's pretty simple in a sense that it was communicated. There was email communication. I didn't approach them, but we did send them an email. So I guess that's approaching. And but we were talking on Facebook. Keith was the one who liked our video and commented on it, and then we started chatting.
That's awesome.
And then I think it was like, well, it would be great to open for you guys, and he's like, yeah, here is an email you should send. And then we were like, okay, I'll send the email right away. And then I probably got Chandra to write an email.
But then, so like we got to play with them a couple of times, but then Sean, you also somehow got Fred to record a track for us.
Mm-hmm.
Fred got us to record a track. It was his idea. It was wild.
Yeah, Keith picked us up, but Fred was really the one who took an interest in us. He really liked some of the tracks, some of the deep cuts, and he's a record collector and has a great taste in music, obviously. Kate was so nice, and Cindy was so nice, and Kate took a photo of us, and she's a great photographer. And it was so much fun. Lewis was there too. Do you remember?
Like 12 years ago, right? 10 or 12 years ago.
Yeah, was that when that happened? Good Lord.
Yeah,
we did one. I think when Mertice played keyboard, and that was this weird weekend where it was like we opened for the B-52s, then we opened for Andrew WK,
Oh,
then we opened for Gary Wilson, which was with when Pat played in the Blind Dates. So there was this like crazy weekend we had where we just like we got even like a write-up in the Seattle Times, I think, about it, where they were like, why is this band opening for all these like kind of bigger acts? And they're like, that's weird.
We had our moment, and then we reached a peak, and then it went downhill after.
But then
It's
the
all
next
been downhill, which is
Ever-
just the trajectory we want to stay on.
But then, like, I think it was like a year or two later, then the B-52s were doing like a Pacific Northwest thing at the the Portland Zoo, the Woodland Park Zoo, and I think we got to do
We did both.
We had to do 3 sets though, right?
Yeah.
Like one show was 2 sets, and then another show. So we got to like go back and do it again, which was cool.
awesome.
But we were
unheard of.
I was, I've been communicating with Fred as well, and then that started the collaboration of Sex and Chips, which you can hear on all digital platforms. We would love more listeners, everyone.
Yep.
So the story to that though is funny because it was the year they came back to the Woodland Park Zoo, and we didn't even like ask to open or anything like that, or like ask him. He was just like messaged us, and he was like, "Hey, are you guys in town? Do you want to come to the show?" And we were like, "Oh, for sure." And so then we go and we like meet him there, and he lets us come backstage, and we have like presents for him, like new recordings and stuff and shirts. And we're like, "Hey, can we give you presents? Can we give you these gifts?" And he was being silly, and he was just like, "I don't want anything from you guys." And then we were like, "Oh," and then he was like, "Yeah, I don't want anything from you guys. You guys, why haven't you asked me to be on a song yet?" And then so that's how like the conversation got started. He was just being sarcastic. And then he was being serious though about the song. So then we just did it, and it was like, "Oh, okay."
That's awesome.
Yeah, we want to do more.
But
It's
it
really
was like his
about
idea.
focus and concentration,
Yeah. Dang, that's amazing. Tell me about the first show.
The show with no costumes?
Yes, I was gonna say we'll go into the costume progression, but tell me about the first show.
Phoenix House?
Okay. The first show was pretty interesting. It was at a place in Olympia called the Phoenix House. And it was like a New Year's Day show. It was like January 1st. And basically, I don't know, it was like 2011, January 1st, 2011. But the Phoenix House is an interesting house because it's supposedly where Nirvana played their second show.
Also,
it's gone now, I think.
It's an interesting question because I believe our friend Brady booked us.
Yes.
And we did not have a band name. So he was like, "I'll just put the Fabulous Downey Brothers." And we went with it.
Yeah. So we never came up with our band name. We've actually technically don't have a band name.
No band name band.
It was given to us by our friend because he was like, he called me up and he was like, "What's your band name? I need to make a flyer." And I was like, "I don't know. We don't have one." Yeah. And then he was just like, "I'm just going to fucking call you guys the Fabulous Downey Brothers," kind of thing.
So that technically means that we're still accepting submissions. So if you can top that name, please email us at the world's longest band name email.com. Because seriously, Fabulous Downey Brothers is like 90,000 letters long. What were we thinking?
I know. It kind of sucks.
Yeah.
Oh, that's funny.
And also, we still don't even. We also can't even decide on if we're a the or we're just FDB. Like, is the part of it? I still don't even know. Oh yeah.
Fabu Down Bra.
Society.
Update it, bruh. Just bruh. Oh my gosh.
Well, because of it, we like get booked sometimes with bands with bro in their name.
Mm-hmm.
Justin, help us out. What song do you like by us?
Geez, let me see which one I played more of. Let me go check out my list real quick.
Yeah, Jackson, maybe you can update us on where you're reporting from now. What's that location?
Redacted information.
Is that your school? Dude, I don't think it's real.
Yeah,
No,
he's in NDIM.
I have to go walk. Hold on.
He's in the simulation now. Shit.
No, I think Virtual Child was probably the one because I was really listening to the newer one to kind of, and then I made like a playlist with like, I'll just, any artist that I have on, I'll just load up a playlist with all of it. But Virtual Child, and then, oh my gosh, what was the one? I think it's on your Bandcamp was the Amazon song. I can't think of what it's called.
Just drums and vocals. That's a good
Yes.
one.
Yeah, that one was a good one. That one I like. That seems a little bit more protest, which I appreciate.
That one was Liam Downey, and
Yeah.
Virtual Child was me. That was Sean.
Yep. Great songs. All of them are fantastic. So I've had no issue with, but at least playing it all the way through while I'm at work, working a factory job, it just really helps me keep up the pace. So I appreciate it.
Cool.
So
Thanks for listening.
Oh, thank you. And I'm glad you guys caught on and was like, hey, can we be on your podcast? Because I had someone booked up and then he just ghosted me. And I kind of, once you kind of start talking to somebody, you're like, if he's not fully committed and you don't really hear much from him, then you're kind of like, is he really gonna? So, yeah.
Oh, see, yeah, that's how we get most of our gigs too. It's just like, the guy we really wanted wasn't available, but like, are you? And then we're like, oh yeah, let's just grab our TVs. We're always just waiting by the phone.
Right. No, it's perfect. Tell me about the outfits. I mean, there's an evolution. They get bigger, they get bolder, they get brighter. Tell me about, does it change for each song or does it just we just change it for each show? Like, tell me about that.
It's usually mid-show, mid-set. We usually have.
As you're performing, you're working on a whole new.
Oh, you mean
Yeah.
like? Well,
Yeah.
this is actually a
That would be a
prototype
thing.
right now.
Yeah.
For the Mopop show, this is one of the shapes I cut out.
That's a
But
good
we're
one.
probably going to cover these in a special fabric. Won't say what kind. But this will probably change.
Mhm.
We do have the triangles that we have a lot of photos with the triangles, but we do have like upwards of probably 20 different costumes.
And I mean,
we
when we had started bringing it back to that first show, so I don't remember who it was that initially was just like, we can't do this, we got to do costumes. We ended up doing costumes, and we in the very beginning it was all like just store bought. It was anything we could buy that had a blue motif, because we just, I don't know, like we needed something like really fast. So, but the black lipstick was a part of it from the beginning and has been like consistent throughout. But after that initial just like explosion of let's just get everything that's blue that we can buy and get our hands on, and like that's a look. Liam is the one who designed the initial headpieces that sort of became a signature part of everything we did moving forward, and we've really tried to like maintain integrity with that stuff and build and make our own things rather than just buying them. Not that there's any shame in that, but
no, but it just like I've noticed like like the head pieces just get bigger, and at some point you guys are at the show just holding on to it while singing or performing. It's just it's fantastic. Like it's like I don't know. It's really eye catching.
It's definitely a practice in like discomfort, because like that's always the dilemma is like, how comfortable can we be, or like, but we know that we have to be uncomfortable to achieve this kind of weird, but it's funny because going back to the first show again, I think it was we looked at the videos of ourselves and we were like, oh God, we look like Arcade Fire. This is got it. Well, that's what we said. That's what it was.
Hipster look, yeah.
And we were like, we look like this band. We can't we don't sound like them, so we shouldn't look like them.
Right.
And then the blue thing happened. But the original headpiece was for Halloween one day in high school. Like I made this costume. It was just a random thing, and it had the original headpiece, which was just a circle with two antennas, kind of thing. And that's Sean kind of re-gave me the idea. He was like, "Remember that costume you made in high school that was really stupid and funny? It was like the headpiece." And I was like, "Oh yeah." And they were like, "Let's just make a bunch of those." So then I remade it, and then we redid it. So yeah.
Wasn't it a lobster?
Yeah, it was like an albino lobster.
Yeah,
It was
it was
like
the blue. It kind of got
that
like
had 9-inch nails or something. It's like I was just trying to weird out everyone at school and be like, "Oh, happy Halloween!"
Oh man, that's great. What artists have you guys been listening to a lot lately, and that's kind of been helping you, be creative? Is there anything new you guys been listening to?
Someone else answer before I answer.
Okay, I'll answer really quick. Addict Ted is worth checking out, and you should probably interview him too if you haven't.
Yeah, I got him on the list. Yeah.
Great. Yeah. Addict Ted is great. I've personally been actually listening to not very weird stuff, but VHS Ghost out of Portland is really good.
Go.
I've been listening to a lot of Lewis Cole. I don't know if you guys heard of him. Excellent keyboard player, drummer. Also named Lewis, so that's nice. Yeah. It's pretty great.
Jackson, you're at school for music. What are you?
What's funny is that Liam hates Lewis Cole, but he loves clowncore.
No, I don't. I don't really care.
Yeah, you do.
There's something about it. I don't
know. New music I've been listening to. I like P Model, that's for sure.
That's not news.
I know it's not new. I'm not to copy Lewis's answer. I also have been re-listening to a lot of Noah and Lewis Cole and stuff like that.
I like Lemon Twigs. I like anything Paul Miller's gonna work on.
Yeah, for sure. And like all that stuff, like Neats is a really great band that I know Paul's working with right now. That's really cool. Macula Dogs, definitely like someone we're inspired by constantly. I mean, I could list. I want to list just my liked videos on YouTube real quick.
Yeah,
this is kind of what I usually just listen to.
Fine.
Carl Biscuit, Rush, Shock, 2 Up, Savage Republic, Pizzicato 5, New Shoes, Dramatic Fart Sound Effect, Moog Cookbook, which was the Black Hole Sun cover that Pat said on your show to listen to. I went because of that, your episode, I went and then looked it up and liked it. Hurry Up by Bucktick, and then the Coconut Boys. That's where I'll stop it.
Pataphysics, yes, that album was fantastic. That's a good one.
Oh, and The Smile, geez, they've got another thing coming out also in October.
Oh, okay.
That's Smile, the Radiohead that's not
Radiohead. Yeah, the spawn off.
Yeah, brilliant.
That's pretty good stuff. I really that video was really creative, and then they did this whole campaign on social media about how to decipher the song titles. Like they did this whole thing. I was like, "There's no way." So.
Oh, well, also though, and just as an experiment in weirdness, if you all get a chance to go on YouTube and check out the video of Andre 3000 listening to his flute album.
He's just sitting there like he has a candle lit and he's just listening to it.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
Yeah, that was a good one.
Can I admit something?
Yes.
I spend a lot of time listening to music from PlayStation 1 era, the soundtrack of games I've never played.
That's okay.
I want to listen to all of them, and it's quite rewarding.
I agree 100%. All that sort of soft, video game music or whoever did that, like it's soothing. I'd rather yeah, I get it. I know exactly what you mean. Oh man. What do you guys do when you're not creating?
Just working,
Uh,
band practice, because that doesn't count.
I do.
That's creating.
I'm a music video director.
That's creating.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's still a job, I guess.
Yeah.
but-
I play pinball and repair arcade machines and pinball machines.
I like Gundam. I build Gundam models.
That's awesome.
Bunch
Anybody
of
else?
electronics projects.
Oh, okay. Like what?
I build lights. I guess that's creating. That doesn't count.
No, it's fine. You can, it doesn't have to be all like music, or you could do, you know, if you're building, repair, whatever.
Yeah.
I'm not narrowing it down to, you know, like, oh, you can't create. It's just
Yeah.
whatever you guys do with
That's
that.
all I do with my times create. I don't know. I have an embroidery machine. I make LED lights for my other bands as well.
That's cool.
You
Like-
carved a mean pumpkin too. Do you have any
Nice
pumpkins around that you've carved?
No,
pro
I just threw
level.
out. I just threw them out.
How about some patches?
Do I have the patches? Oh, here's one I'm working on. I don't know if you can see it.
Oh, that's a good one.
Cool.
Yeah.
He
Yeah.
did these ones for.
I was
So
gonna
pitted
ask because I
leather.
saw those online, the so pitted patches. I was gonna ask if he did those. Yeah,
Yeah, I just digitized them on my computer, and I got the embroidery machine here.
that's awesome.
Super fun. I love doing it.
Jackson, how about you, bud?
I just create all the time. I just always work on music and 3D stuff and stuff like that. I'm not much of a video game person, but I've been replaying I Spy Spooky Mansion, the like old PC game from like
Yes. Oh, yeah.
1999.
Yeah.
Just because I grew up with that and I like all the miniatures and all the like really bit crush sound effects, and it's like it's like in a box in the center of your screen. It's like tiny.
That's awesome. Do you do like text adventure, like, you know, the old, you know, computer where it's like I guess you can call them text adventures, where you read it and it's like choose your own adventure. Like
I've
type
never
of-
been good at those. I like a lot of stuff from like just early pre-rendered graphics like Myst. I'm gonna plug a game called Frog Days. It was by this dude that loved that look, and he pretty much nailed the design of old point and click games to a T and got the game like 99% done,
Wow.
but didn't finish it. You can play it online, but it's like pretty much verbatim like Myst style point and click game.
Awesome. That'd be good to check out. Did you guys shift it? You guys are just moving around. I think it's like you guys keep shifting the computer, or you guys will change
We
that.
only have one chair and then my bed, so we've kind of been like taking turns with the chair.
That's okay.
We had to edit the background. It's green screen.
That's okay. Oh man. What do you guys have any oh my gosh. Did I even nope, that's the wrong
Do you
what's
have
your-
any? Do you have any pointers, or help us out?
any
Help us out,
pointers?
Justin. Yeah, if you
He's
were
trolling me right now. What was your
if
question?
you were our producer, like, how would you? What was the next thing you would do with us?
No, next thing with you, like, what do you mean, like question wise, or?
Yeah, what was your next question, please?
Sorry, I had an issue reading my own
Sorry.
handwriting. So.
Sorry about
Sean, you're not allowed to ask questions anymore. What question was that?
He's trying to be creative.
I get you. Like, what motivates you guys? Like, your day to day when you get up, are you guys like, I'm gonna start working on some music, or you guys just kind of go with the roll of the whole, you know?
If I'm not creating stuff, I get pretty depressed.
Yeah.
But if I don't feel accomplished or something. Maybe that's something wrong with me, but
No, I'm the same way. I get it.
yeah, yeah.
If I can make it.
Yes. Liam.
Nothing.
No, go.
Okay, Justin, you're the band manager, and none of us are getting along. my brother and I, we don't get along all the time.
Okay.
What do we do?
I think it's important that you guys sit in one room and talk it all out. And then even if you guys aren't getting along, sometimes if you throw a few punches and then just get all that aggression out, then I think from there it could be a clean slate.
Fight it out.
Fight it out. Fight it out and record it and then post it. And
There
then
you go.
Yes.
I like
That's-
it. So turn it into the
this.
content. Yeah.
Oh.
All right. Thank you.
You're welcome. Free advice for you guys. So,
Thanks.
who are you guys? Is probably the biggest like visual like influences?
Well,
A lot of pop
There's-
art.
yeah.
I mean, like Pee-wee's Playhouse.
Pee-wee, yeah.
Nickelodeon's 90s Nickelodeon stuff, obviously.
Devo, Tim Burton films.
Yep.
We just saw Beetlejuice. That was great.
How was that? My kids have been wanting to see
Fine.
it. Yeah. Fine.
Yeah, it was a sequel.
Fine is good for sequels.
Yeah, I can deal with fine other than just
Wasn't like amazing like I wanted it to be,
Yeah.
but it was fun.
That's pretty critical. I enjoyed it as much as the first one, I'd say.
Oh, definitely not. But
Okay.
Ooh, are you guys gonna fight it out? Fight
yeah, let's
it
go ahead
out.
and you might as well
Yeah,
just let it
yeah.
out. Just
Yeah,
go ahead
yeah.
while we're streaming this. Just go.
Justin said we gotta sit down and talk about it in one room, not this green screen stuff. Liam.
Talk it out and then fight it out. That's what I say. Let's let the words then escalate into fists and kicking, and then
Okay. What we really need are our gigs, though. We need better gigs.
This is
Better
a call
gig?
for help. That's what Sean is saying.
you know what? We can have the whoever's watching this go into the comment section and then just lay out any suggestions all you want. So
Don't be such tryhards.
try. Is that a cowboy hat?
oh yeah.
Ah, very good.
The
Justin.
Woody
This
hat?
is a cowboy hat.
Where'd you get that?
Good question. I
It's
don't
got
really
a
remember where I
string.
got
It's got the string and everything.
I think my friend maybe gave this to me.
We got
Yeah,
the
it's
Won't
pretty
top
good.
those giant foam hats though, unfortunately.
That we never got. One time Jackson and I ordered those like huge foam hats and we never got them. They never arrived.
They never arrived. Where'd you guys order it from? Like Temu or Amazon?
No, it was I think it was on eBay because it was the only place we could find black ones. We needed it for a show.
Oh,
And this story is crucial to the Downey Brothers history. I don't think the band would be the same without this story of Liam and I getting
knowing
this
about it.
giant- Yeah.
well, at least
It
they're
was
visualizing
pivotal.
it. If they're at work and they're listening to it, they're visualizing you guys with these big
Mhm.
foam hats, and they
Mhm.
have to be black too. So
Yeah.
there you
It's
go.
not the same if they're not black.
Is there any last bit of anybody who's working on art or music? Do you guys have any advice for them?
Oh. I don't know if we
I
should
would
be the
say
ones
don't-
to give that advice.
I don't know.
Exactly.
Don't be afraid to mess up. Just
Mess up
keep-
a lot.
Exactly. 'cause-
Anything
much
you
as you
can
can.
watch. Yeah, exactly. Watch any. There's a Robert Fripp video where he talks about humiliation as being essential. Like as soon as you can get down with the fact that humiliation is just gonna be part of it, like it will free you.
Yeah, just walk out on stage and the first thing you do is trip and fall on your face. Then nothing else bad will happen.
There's a reason why live music is called live music, and that's because it's live. Doesn't mean it's perfect music, it's just live. So if you mess up, you just go on. People think it sounds good anyway.
Right.
Whoa, did you learn that at college?
No, I learned that from being in this band. No, I just
Oh, you learned all
No,
about
no, no,
how to-
no, no, that
how
was
to handle
rude.
mess ups.
That was
from
that was
being-
rude.
embarrassment. Yeah.
No,
it
I
may have been. It's not untrue.
That's just something I was like, that's a good thing to live by, and then I never actually applied it because I too would be like, it's got to be perfect. So you know,
Do you guys
do
have
what I
any
can.
like pre-show, like where you pump yourself up? Do you guys have like a pre-show ritual or anything like that?
No, but I would say something that's not talked about often is that getting in the getup, we do have some standards like black lipstick and glasses. And once those things start to go on, there is sort of like a calmness that comes over, and you start to become the character. It is fun. There is definitely a certain level of discomfort that Liam spoke about, something you have to get used to, but the flip side is kind of an euphoric state, you know, of becoming a Fabulous Downey brother and going through it. It's more of a trust. We don't put our hands together, but we do, like, we suddenly become sillier, you know. It's like, as long as everything's plugged in and running properly, then we get into this really fun place.
Well, and I think that's a good point you're making too, because like we do so much of this shit to ourselves. We don't need to wear the stuff that's uncomfortable, and we don't need to lug all the TVs and things like that around. But when you do that and you increase the level of discomfort, you also become way more present, which means that all of our shows, like, we're really in it because we're worried that our shit's gonna fall off or that something's gonna break. And you think about like if Billy Joel was playing Piano Man for the 9,000th time, he's probably not really thinking about it. But if he was wearing one of our headpieces, I think that would up the production value for everybody. But I think us being present, I think that's really part of it, because then it becomes a little unpredictable in a way too.
Yeah.
It also
never
makes
know what
us,
headpiece you're gonna get. You never know what headpiece you're gonna get, and that's what makes every show interesting.
well, it's also fun too because when we play with other bands, it's just like we're kind of like guaranteed usually that like we'll stand out, I guess, or we'll at least look different than the other bands. We might sound worse, but we'll at least look better. But every once in a while, we do play with other bands that like kind of are on the same wavelength or level, and definitely, to me, those ones aren't as fun. Those shows aren't as interesting, but it can be good.
Have you had to do like a show where it was like completely left field act while you guys are on the whole other spectrum? Because I've had to do one.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Tell me about that.
I mean, we've had shows where people book us at like weird, like there's that one banquet we played on, like it was like a Christmas thing, and like not that many people showed up, and it was like, why are like we just didn't fit in, you know? Like it's definitely easy for us not to fit in at
Yeah, it's
certain
hard. I
types
mean,
of
imagine it's really hard to
shows.
book like bands for this band, right? It's not a
Yeah.
lot of acts that are similar. You just fit in wherever we fit in.
Right.
Everyone's kind of playing loud music, you know, we all kind of fit in. So to get a band that's different and in costume, sometimes you're the odd band out. And most of the time, I think people are just appreciative of it. It's diversity. I don't think we like cause a bad scene. If anything, it's kind of funny, but you know,
like it definitely, like,
you never know.
There definitely are like people who are just like, it's not for them. Like that's
Right.
Yeah.
for sure. And I think that's the majority of kind of, because it's like majority of people don't like art and music in the world. Like it's a very small percentage of people actually in the grand scheme of things. So like this is even more a small percentage, you know, of that. So it's like the people in the music world is like they're listening and watching stuff that's way more tame and help, you know, tasteful, and then we're thrown in there, and it's like it's definitely easy for people to be like, oh yeah, that's like, I'll never do anything like that.
Right.
I would never look like that on stage.
But it's okay for it to exist.
Like even sometimes some of our relatives don't get it. Like they'll be like, yeah, like just play the music. Why do you have to wear the things? You know, and it's like, it's because, yeah, I mean, everyone else on the bill is just playing the music and they're not wearing the things. So
and a lot of us are visual artists too. So it's just kind of what happens.
And it's like we play in other bands too that don't do this.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
Like there are certain elements of like So Pitted that does it when I feel like it, you know, and in other bands, and like Fight Milk sometimes too. But like it's it's definitely like this band definitely fills a void for me personally that my other bands don't. That's for sure. But also like my other bands, it's like, oh God, I don't have to wear the headpiece tonight. Thank God. I can just like the tour I'm about to go on. I'm like, whew, I'm just back in clothes.
Yeah.
I'm just back in regular t-shirt, jeans. That's it. But you know, with this band, if we go on tour, it's like, oh shit, we gotta pack so much stuff and props and things.
Have you guys ever had to like do like a festival or a show where it's like two bands are playing at the same time, and unfortunately everybody has gone to that other band and you're kind of playing to like a dead floor?
I mean that's definitely happened in Seattle, because Seattle's really cliquey and small, that like if you don't fit in at a certain bill and everyone's there to see one band, they'll definitely smoke during your show. They'll definitely see you guys as like the weirdos who are not the friends. And like that kind of happens. And there've been a couple shows where we've played and we were like the second band out of 3, and people used the second band as the smoke break.
I remember playing the Vera Project, and Peaches was playing on the same time as us. So
at Bumper Shoot,
yeah.
I mean, that actually recently happened to my other band, Mold Mom, at Block Party. We were playing the same time as Chapel Rowan, and that was just like, it was over. It was like, no, but there were still probably like 40 people, and it was fun, but it was definitely like that took the whole crowd.
Was that the girl that lives out like came from like Missouri and just blew the fuck up?
Yeah.
I wish I would have known about her. Like, I would have loved to share a stage with her, but nobody fucking talks to anybody out here. Like, it's unfortunate where everybody's trying to compete, but nobody wants to work together. Is it like that out in Seattle, or is everybody kind of come together a little bit more?
I'd say it's not. There is a sense of competition, but there's also a sense of anti-competition. Like I think the punk ethos is kind of ingrained, so people would rather have community and help each other than compete. And I mean we're on that wavelength where we're like, none of this is a competition. Like like, yeah, the reward is even being able to get on the stage.
Right. Yeah.
So I don't know. It's definitely cliquey. There's definitely people who they only work with their people, but it's still like they help each other. It's not competing, you know. I mean, there's definitely like gossip and shade, but I don't think it's I don't think it's that competitive out here,
Right.
because it is competitive in the sense that it's small. So if you're playing a show the same night where everyone else is playing a show, then it's competitive. Then it's like, oh, well, I hope everyone comes to my show, and then they all end up going to one random show usually. At least as far as like the small punk scene.
Yeah. But see, that's again, I think like a credit to us and giving something that gives us a bit of an advantage is because we have that visual component. My hope is that when given the choice, people will maybe choose to check out what we're doing just because they don't know what's going to happen, you know, because there is some amount of like newness and novelty that is at least implied, and so that unpredictability thing again, versus, well, you know, like I could watch them play, like Liam said, in their shirts and jeans. No shade on shirts and jeans, by the way.
There's an element of surprise to it, at least to your guys' show. Like you're going in with the unexpected. I think for me it does. So
yeah, thank you. I think that's what we go for. Like we're not. I mean, on top of the fact that we try to like make it sort of an artistic experience, we're also really maximalist, which is the other thing I really love about it. Like there's no need for us to bring around flat screen televisions and to bring all of like the extra stuff, all those bells and whistles, except that to us it is absolutely essential to have that. It wouldn't feel complete without it. And you know, I think that makes it almost like audacious of us. Like how the fuck, where do they get the nerve? This is already crammed, tiny little, and then they come in with like, we're the SUV of bands, you know, we just like come in and hog up all the space.
Yeah, we bring the arena experience to a small show, to a house
Yeah,
show,
which makes it ridiculous.
or a
And no
bar.
matter, yeah, and regardless of the crowd size too, which again, I think is part of what makes us really special.
Yeah. Awesome. Shit, man, I think I pretty much covered everything. Is there anything else you guys want to add before we bring this to a close?
No,
Jackson, I want to know really quick, Jackson, do you have any Fight Milk stuff coming up?
That's funny you ask.
Yeah, he posted it today.
I have a album coming out called Looks Good on a Flower, and it's 11 songs long, and it's by Fight Milk, and it'll be out soon.
Nice, that's great.
That's only a preview of what's to come.
Cool. I can't wait to hear. What genre is it?
It's like Downey Brothers, but
Okay.
a sequel to Downey Brothers.
It's that Devo genre Poly6 created.
That Poly6 Devo, yeah. That's awesome.
I don't know. And this one's different. I don't think Liam's gonna like this album. I think it's gonna be.
Am I gonna have to put you guys
That's
in a
great news. That's great news.
Yeah, it means
That's why you're supposed to be making music.
Yes.
That's awesome. Okay, well, guys, I really appreciate you guys taking the time to be on my podcast. Thank you.
Yeah,
so
thanks.
much.
Well, thank you. Yeah.
Yeah, thanks for like covering all these artists. It's cool.
yeah, we
Yeah.
invite. We love doing this. Thanks so much. For
Yeah, because
having
I
us.
definitely wouldn't have reached out to you if you hadn't done Zomzoms or.
Thank you. Again, those were the bands that I kind of grew up on MySpace, and so that was my stepping stones as well. So thank you for coming on my podcast and be having interest in my podcast, because I'm only a couple months in this thing and I'm still kind of learning the ropes and still finding my voice and all that other stuff. So thank you guys so much for taking the time. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, you're doing the good work.
Thank
You're
you.
covering the right bands. Yeah, it's really important that you're like creating a home for more of us,
I'm trying
and
to,
yourself
like,
included.
a lot of bands, they do deserve to have like a spotlight on them, no matter how small or whatever. It's like, if I find a band that I like, I'm going, okay, I want to hear more about them. Like, that's my whole goal with this podcast. So
I have a quick question. Wait, so
Great job.
I don't know if you talked about this in your Zomzoms interview, but did you ever cross paths with them, like, or see them live? Ever? Like,
I was supposed to see them live, but there was something that happened.
so you listened to them on MySpace?
Yes. Yeah, it
That's
was
cool.
The Undoing of David Wright.
Oh yeah.
Femme Fatality. Pretty much all like the early bands that I had on my podcast were like, I was going, if I'm going to do this, these are the bands that I want to start off with first. These were the MySpace bands. These were, my stepping stones. So, you had, Zomzoms and Yip Yip and, all those other bands. I was like, okay, I want those on first, and then I'm going to kind of branch out from there. So
Yeah.
How did you find the Downey Brothers?
actually,
Well,
they came to me. Yeah, no, I think it was networking, where it was just the podcast. I think it was it Zomzoms or Yip Yip, and then it was kind of like he posted it or they posted it, and then it was like kind of this whole network, you guys are coming to me and I'm going to you kind of situation.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, it's cool that you mentioned the Undoing of David Wright, because around that same era, I think it was after Zomzoms came to Tacoma and played with us, we booked another show with the Undoing of David Wright at this weird venue in Tacoma. And what was wild about that show is Terra Mellos opened, and they played on the floor and no one showed up, and they paid us in Domino's pizza.
Oh, that's
so
okay.
Not a lot of people played, but it was a really weird thing, because it's like, Terra Mellos, they're like legends now, and it's just wild. So yeah, us, them, and Undoing of David Wright. It's cool.
And he's gone off to do like he's working with electronics and stuff. I'm like, please do something with The Undoing. Like, put out a vinyl, put out something. Like, don't just kind of keep it in this box. Like, put it out there. You know what I mean? Like, it's just like, oh, don't keep it in here. Put it out there. So it's just, yeah. So, yeah.
Cool.
All right.
Yeah,
Well,
that would be great. We really liked them.
oh, I do too. So cool, man. Well, thank you guys so much. I really appreciate it.
Yeah,
Thank
thank you.
you.
Thank you.
Great day. Thank you.
All right, see you in St. Louis.
Yeah, I'll see you.